Okay. Well, we're here today with a pastor from Romania. His name is Alex, and we've just been traveling around with him. He's been showing us all of the work that he's been doing in several villages in the part of Romania where he's from. Several of them have several of the places where he's working. In fact, you pastor how many churches, Alex?
5.
5 churches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not alone, with another colleague. We are 2 pastors in these 5 churches, and also another ministry in Tinawood with gypsies. They are not technically yet a church, but we hope to plant a church there in time.
Well, I don't care how you say it, that's still a lot of churches. I don't think there's very many pastors, at least I don't know many pastors who take care of 5 churches. That's incredible. Thank you for that. And
As we do that.
yeah, praise the Lord. And along the way, you've been telling us about how children's ministry is starting to become a very important part of what you're doing here with the ministry in the churches. You were telling me, and I'm going to let you start talking pretty soon, but you were telling us as we were driving about how the churches here, especially in these villages, are pretty much dying churches they're mostly old people. We're in one of them right now.
Yeah.
That was once a thriving church, I understand, and now has 13 members, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big, beautiful building in the center of a medium-sized village, and it has just 13 people, but a large Tomorrow Club.
Yeah, that's true.
How many kids?
Around 50 kids which are coming in every meeting.
Wow.
But in total, I think are around 70 kids who pass through this Tomorrow Club.
Wow.
Since September.
That's incredible. And tell us how they get here.
Well, we started the ministry Tomorrow Clubs here, like a ministry in which to continue what is happening at the kindergarten in Hotar. We are in the village of Hotar, and we have in this church a kindergarten, and we struggle with the idea how to continue our relationship with children who pass through this kindergarten.
Sure.
We had a meeting in September, a kind of anniversary, 20 years since we had the kindergarten, where almost 200 kids who passed through this kindergarten. So we decided to have an anniversary, and at that anniversary we said, okay, we took all these children here. I mean, we're around 100 children who came to that anniversary with their parents and grandparents and family. And thought, okay, how can we keep in touch with these children? So then Joel to present us the materials from Tomorrow Clubs, and we decided to try a ministry with children using these materials. And in the same time keeping in touch with the parents, with the children's parents. So that is how started to have meetings in every week using the Tomorrow Club's materials. And in time, children talk, one with
they
other,
tell their friends.
Tell their friends, and
Sure.
we encourage them with that, with the points and the rewards if they bring a friend with them. So in time, God bless this ministry, and now we're around 50 who are come regularly.
And they don't all come from this village, though.
No.
No, and they come from other villages. How do they get here?
Well, we take them by car.
Who takes them?
Me and the other guy, the other family who is involved here. It's called Timi Golban and Nicoleta. They are involved in this ministry since we started in September, and they took also children with them, and the other pastor's wife who is involved with mothers, she also took, and usually I do two trips.
2 trips.
Yeah, two.
No, wait though. You said you have you kind of a medium-sized sport utility vehicle, and you had a lot of kids in there at one time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like more than
legal.
more than legal. Let's just put it that way. Yes.
Yeah.
We were, I was wishing that we had the video camera when you were telling us that.
To count, sometimes I have to count them, okay, to be sure that I don't forget somebody.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's an exciting ministry from this point of view to see that the children are interested to come, and the nice part of this is that I didn't told you during our trip until now. Some of them started to come to teenage meeting, which we have Saturday. I mean, those who are older, they came to the children's club, and after that, because of knowing what we are doing here, they started to come to teenage meeting also. The most of the children, around 30, are from Tsetska. It's a village at 4 kilometers from here. And the other 20, 25 are from Hotar, from this village, and from Supiatru, the village which is in the middle between Hotar and Tsetska.
Sure.
So, we are happy that we can help actually the ministry in other churches too, because we are very happy that these children goes to their churches, and we encourage them, okay, you learn some verses here, please tell the verses in the church.
Yeah.
And in a way, their churches are also encouraged by what they are doing here.
So I'm going to put you on the spot just a little bit here. What would you say is your biggest hope that would come from doing the children's ministry in this region? What's your dreams?
Wow. Yeah. Concerning to the children ministry, my dream is that every child to be able to receive the gospel, to hear the gospel. It's true that it's a long time investment, and in a lot of cases you invest in a child, and after a while you lose contact with him.
Sure.
And, in a way it's disappointing that you don't see the results all the time, very soon.
Right.
But I think we have to be faithful and to put a seed of the gospel in their hearts, and to pray that God will work in their hearts. So my dream and my wish is that every child on this valley to hear the gospel, to don't be a child who doesn't hear about Christ. And the other things are about the church to be, every church to be served, and to have a continuous ministry, because what's happened, especially with small churches, that in some cases the pastor couldn't come there in every week, and it's happened that some churches had a service on a month, and that was all, and that's for sure not the recipe for growing. I mean, you have to have a ministry, a continuous ministry there, and the next level will be to get involved other brothers from a kind of bigger churches who, in a big church, not everybody is very directly involved in ministry, and it would be helpful for them to have something to do for the Lord.
Right.
So in this way to be encourage themselves and to encourage other
Sure.
churches. So for the children's ministry, like an aim for me is that every child on this valley to have the opportunity to hear the gospel and to be confronted with the gospel.
Oh, well, we'll sure pray with you about that. One other question that I think would help us kind of understand the context that you work in here. You were telling us some kind of surprising things too about what life is like in the villages around here where you work, and maybe just what are some of the problems that the people here face? What kind of challenges do the churches face trying to minister to them? It'd be helpful if you could maybe just give us a couple of comments.
About the life in the villages, one of the main spiritual problems which people are confronted with is the alcoholism. It's a problem here. It's also the fact that a lot of people actually doesn't know very much about the gospel. I mean, it's an interesting trend here in Romania. The older people, I mean, over 30, over 40 years old, almost everybody says that we are Christians, we believe in God.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened with the younger generation, and polls show that, is that for the teenagers which are in the high school, around 25% declare themselves atheists.
Wow, 25%.
So it seems that it's a trend in that direction, and I think the solution is to present the gospel as fast as young as we could, because it's better for them to hear from us that God exists first of all, and to have the arguments, and after that, we'll be confronted with the atheistic theories or agnostic one. but it's an advantage to be equipped and
Yeah.
to know what are the arguments and what is actually the Bible really says.
Well, in a town like this, how many other places are there that they can hear that? The children of the village here where we're sitting, how many other places can they hear about Jesus?
Yeah, it is a Baptist church here where we are now. It's a Pentecostal one and the Orthodox one. The Pentecostal and Orthodox one doesn't have a ministry with children.
Okay.
In this village, not in every village.
Right.
And actually in other village, in Supiatra, where I'm pastor too, they have a ministry with children, like I kind of try to keep the children far from us. But my sorrow is that they, at the church, they learn more about Romanian tradition, and dance is not about Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So actually in this village, which has around 400 houses, it's the only place where the children can learn about.
You know, we find that in so many of the places that we're working, that the Tomorrow Club is really the only place in town where the kids can really hear the gospel. And you know, you kind of bring up an interesting point too, that I think that we face too, that you know, the children just learn the traditions of the Romanian culture, and I think you know we're seeing that more and more in the United States too, is that you know the real gospel is hard to find. You know, there's a lot of religious teaching, but the real gospel isn't that easy to find. So, good. Well, you know, this has been extremely helpful, and we've just enjoyed so much spending the day with you. And you know, we just wish you all the best in your work here, Alex. It's just incredible. We'll certainly be praying. And you know, I think it was really touching for us too when we were talking with your wife earlier at one of the other places that we stopped. She said, you know, we pray for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And me, you know, Cindy and I, and it was really touching.
Yeah, I want to say that actually your coming in our ministry by these materials was exactly at the perfect moment, because we thought, okay, what materials can we use for the children to have a link with them at home too?
Yeah.
Because we have materials to teach them and to preach, to present them the gospel here, but something to have a link with their parents, and even for their parents to know, okay, what my child is doing there, and this is a very useful instrument to just to take home. Okay, my mom, look what I'm doing there, and in a way for the parents to be more. To understand what happened with their children there, and to be still that okay, everything is okay, they are not listen to some wrong things there.
Right.
And also for an instrument for the parents to get in touch with the gospel, because they have to read
it's right in front of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's so encouraging for us to hear. Thank you again. God bless you.
You too. Thank you very much.